Hello, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Girls Lounge podcast with your hosts, Liz and KT. And today's episode doesn't really have a set theme or structure. It's just going to be girl talk, just getting things off our chest, just talking. So that's the vibe for today. In terms of what we've been up to, we're just going to get right into it. For me, I'm, just surviving this crazy weather in the United States right now, especially in Kentucky. And I'm side eyeing every one of you guys who says that your favorite season is spring. I actually hate spring, and people are always like, what? And this is exactly why, because it's always bipolar weather. Literally, we went from tornadoes to now flooding. And now it's like a freeze warning. Like, I went out earlier to grab some lunch, and it was so okay. It actually wasn't so cold. It actually felt nice in the sun, but the breeze was like pretty cold. I feel like it was colder on my walk back to my apartment. But I was like, oh my gosh, it was literally just like 80 degrees on one of the days we had a tornado, and now it's like 50 degrees. Like, this weather is insane, but it's crazy because like our hometown is getting hit with such bad flooding right now, which is like the worst in like our lifetime. Like, I think the levels now are close to, like they said, like a record in like the 70s or something. So it's some historic flooding happening, and it's like kind of sad to see. Even though we clown on our hometown, we've never said what our hometown is, or we're not going to start today so you guys can't stalk us. But it's just so sad because it's like we clown on it a lot, but it, like, just seeing like streets that we've driven on or just walked on just flooded and underwater, I'm like, what do you mean? But yeah, and just even seeing the flooding in Louisville is crazy too, because I'm like, I was just in Louisville for my spring break when I had a dinner before I came back. I'm just like, it's crazy to see like the roads that I was literally just on like 3 weeks ago just completely underwater. And like, if you've been to Louisville, like, you know how high those lamp posts are, like at the bottom, because it's like, yeah, if you know, you know, with all like the highway stuff. So at the bottom, it's like all flooded, and just to see like the water all the way up to almost the top of those like lamp posts is crazy. So yeah, but we're surviving. I actually don't have school today that we're filming this. It's Monday, and they canceled class for today because of like the flooding and stuff, and just the region. I mean, campus is fine except for the fact that I think some parking garages have flooded on the first level. But other than that, I think it's fine. But obviously, like, people commute, and just like other Western Kentucky campuses are experiencing a lot of flooding. Like, I know the Glasgow campus had some flooding, and they actually canceled like a day last week, I think. So it's just been crazy. But good news, you guys. I have my French back. I Duolingo. I think it was just like some type of glitch. But yeah, that's just what I've been up to.
No, because the flooding is actually crazy. My parents have been sending me like live updates. Seeing these streets, yeah, it's like it's bad. Like the way there's one picture that they sent me, and it's like the fire and rescue people, but they're literally on like canoe, not even canoe, little motorboats. It just reminds me of like seeing like images of like when Florida has flooded before. I'm like, we're literally in Kentucky, in a landlocked state. What is going on here? There's no ocean nearby. But yeah, that's been really crazy to see. But for what I've been up to, I just got back from Ireland. I went to Dublin for the weekend and definitely interesting experiences. I had a great time. Don't get me wrong, but let me just walk you guys through a little bit here. Okay, so we saw some interesting things. And by interesting things, I don't even mean the city, I mean the people. I texted Kennedy and Kelsey about how like the stereotypical I know we're in Ireland, but the like stereotypical like British girl, like the super heavy fake tan, like the heavy makeup, like the specific kind of outfits. Yeah, I saw some in Ireland, so I guess it's whatever those people are, they be having that same style or whatever. But we saw that, and then oh my gosh, we were literally walking to our Airbnb that we stayed at, right? And there's this guy that like I hear like bottles moving, right? So this guy like starts walking beside us, like speed walking, and he has this pack of like of beer. And then out of nowhere, we hear like yelling, and we think, okay, so like these people behind us are trying to get someone's attention, right? And then there's like these two like police officers that run in front of the guy and kind of like stop him. I guess he like stole the thing of beer from the little grocery store or something. And one of like the police officers like was like trying to take him, and then the other guy was like, just let him go, just let him go. but it was literally Kennedy like right in front of us. Like the distance of the laptop of you guys and me. It was some interesting experiences. There was also we were leaving our Airbnb. Everything, we were in a safe area, but I don't know. I don't know here because there was this park we were walking beside, and these people were like yelling at each other, kind of like they were fighting. And we look, there's a man on the ground bleeding. Don't know what that was about, but yeah, had some very interesting experiences. But on the like not weird people experiences part, went to the cliffs of Moher. I don't know if Brave, the Disney movie, was based in Ireland, but it was giving me that kind of energy, those vibes. And then went to the Guinness storehouse, did a little tour, had my first Guinness. Learned that it's actually not black. It's called ruby, the color. I don't know. It's still looking black to me. And then we went to our little cliff tour. We stopped in Galloway too, so that was really nice. But yeah, I don't know if you have any questions, Kennedy.
I have a question and a comment. So a comment. Now that you've been to Ireland, you need to watch Dairy Girls. It is so good, so funny.
Yes, me and the girl that I was with, we were actually talking about Dairy Girls, how neither one of us have watched it, but we were like, I feel like we're gonna like it, and all of our friends keep telling us to watch this show. And now you mentioned it again, so might have to download that.
Yeah, Dairy Girls has to be honestly one of my top shows I've watched on Netflix for real, like, because it's just that funny. And then a comment. So, what did the Guinness's stuff taste like? I'm very curious.
Girl. So on our tour we had the factory or storehouse, whatever it was. It was actually really cool, I'm not gonna lie. But we had two different drinks. We had two Guinnesses, okay? So we had like a little mini, which was like a taste testing, and I told you like how to drink it and everything. And then we went upstairs and we were able to get like a free drink. A pint is what they call it. So at our little taste testing, what they would told us to do was like first you smell it, okay? And then you take a big gulp, you let it sit in your mouth for a second, then you swallow it, and then you breathe out, and then you should get like I'm over here saying notes like it's Bath and Body Works, but you should get the flavors of it. And apparently it's like chocolate and like I don't know, something 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 something. I didn't taste no chocolate. I don't know. I feel like it just tasted like beer, but it did taste a little different from lighter beers, like lighter color beers. I don't really know. I kept on doing like the sniffing, the holding it and all that, and I feel like I was getting some other notes of stuff, but beer is beer to me. So I'm not no beer concierge. I think that's right.
Honestly, I would be down to taste it. Honestly, I feel like I need to like taste beer again because I feel like I haven't like since I've turned 21. I haven't like fully like sat down and had a beer. Like I've had sips of beer because you know like when you're younger and your parents are drinking stuff and you're like, can I have a sip of that? Like that's it. So I don't really remember what beer tastes like.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm leaving this country a changed person because I used to never ever drink beer. But lately, sometimes when I go, it's also like the cheapest thing to drink, so I'm like, say less.
Also, speaking of beer, it got me thinking about Europeans and how they party and stuff. Not even Europeans, really, everyone outside of Americans, because I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about how Americans, the typical Americans are so loud, overbroad. And I just want to hear from an American traveling through European and just other countries. What is your take? Do you think they're just as loud as us? Maybe even rowdier?
I definitely can spot the Americans, I feel like. I'm not gonna lie. I do think we are like, I think it's a different kind of loud. I don't know. I feel like the American loud, it's like, I don't even know how to describe it because it's like, it's just the American loud, you know? Like, you hear it and you know. But the European loud, I feel like it's a little different. I don't know, I feel like the American one's like more rowdy, more like disturbing the peace. And I feel like the European one is like loud, but not like rowdy, if that makes any sense.
So, Liz, you're not doing any favors for the Americans.
You know, I feel like the stereotype might be a little true.
Yeah, and honestly, yeah, because I just think even just in America, I just think of all the times when just like our friend group is out and we notice we're the loudest people in an establishment. I just think Americans we're just like naturally loud in groups. And we're all just speaking over each other. Like I remember I saw a comment that was like, "Oh yeah, like they were sitting next to a group of Americans and they were like all like kind of talking over each other, kind of interrupting each other." I was like, "Yeah, pretty much my friend group."
Literally, I'm so guilty of doing it. I don't even notice when I'm doing it, honestly, sometimes. I apologize. Oh, also, side note, another thing that we did in Ireland, we did a little whiskey tasting. It wasn't like, it was like a shot of whiskey. It was, oh my, so it was a Scottish whiskey, an Irish whiskey, and then a Kentucky one, which it's bourbon because, bourbon's only in Kentucky, but they called it American whiskey or whatever. And it was us, and it was like a couple, and then like these two guys. And apparently there's supposed to be other people on the tour, but I guess that they didn't make it, so they had already poured like the whiskeys out, and they were like, "Oh, like, do you guys want another one? Because like it's already poured out." These other four people, they all got like two. The couple, they was down in this whiskey, not flinching at all. Me and my friend, we said, "Oh, we're okay." Like one is enough. And even then that was too much. But yeah, I thought that was funny.
Yeah, y'all could have missed me with that whiskey shot. Mm-mm. Now that for sure I know I don't need to try no more of.
Like I said, one was enough.
Well, we're all jealous that Liz was in Ireland and I was here, surviving the floods. But it's good because in my mind I'm like, great. So when me and Liz go back, I'm gonna be with her, and she gonna know all the spots.
Not gonna lie, I'd be leaving these places sometimes and I'm like, I don't even need the Google Maps to get back to like where we're staying.
Period. But enough of what we've been up to. Now we're gonna talk about our favorites of the week. And my favorite of the week is unexpected. And this is British YouTubers. Now I have been like an OG British YouTuber. I've been watching British YouTubers since the beginning of YouTube. But just like ever since I was little, like Saffron Barker, her friend Anastasia, like I've just always, they just been there. But recently, like this wasn't even on purpose, but I was like going through my subscription list and I do this weird thing where I like kind of start a video, swipe out, start another one, swipe out. So it like builds in my watch list. So then I have I have videos queued up to watch and finish. And I was watching them, I was like, wait, all these 5, 6 videos I have queued up are freaking British. Like I guess I'm in my British YouTuber era right now. So yeah, that's literally all I've been watching. I've been loving it. And it's just so interesting. Listen, I'm that one friend who always just thinks too deeply into everything. And I was like, it's so interesting how different just like the content creator slash influencer world is in the UK versus America. I will say when I say the UK, I really mean England, specifically London. So maybe I should put in that disclaimer, like London, Manchester are like the two cities where people live in. And then yeah, like even like the vlog styles are different. They have like a lot more like studio content, which I have seen like some like LA influencers try to replicate, but it's not the same. Like it's giving bootleg version. Like it's just not, no, like it's not good. But yeah, if you want to know what British YouTubers I'm watching, a Beta Squad is back, which it actually pains me to say that I honestly watch a Beta Squad because like their content is literally for like I feel like for like little middle schooler boys. But here I am, a 21-year-old American girly watching them. I've talked about Sophia and Chintzia before. Love them. And it's so crazy when they're so surprised that like or that any of these people are so surprised that they hit audiences in the United States. Because I'm like, but I love you guys. But I can see how it's like, of course, they get mostly listeners, viewers from their home country. I like Sidemen, but honestly, Beta Squad is better. I've been loving KCJ recently. I love Kate Elizabeth, Flossie. There's a lot of people I like, but I would say those are like my top people right now, if you're curious.
My favorite of the week is Netflix, and I'll tell y'all specifically why when we get into the what we're watching segment. So keep you on your toes.
And now we're gonna get into our sports corner. So we're gonna hop, skip, and jump to future me to recap the Bahrain GP. Hopefully, it was a good one. We drew our people last episode, so hopefully, our people did their things. Hello, guys. I'm gonna try to get this done really quickly in one take. Hopefully, I don't mess up. Cheer me on, please. And I am recording using my MacBook audio, so hopefully, it doesn't sound too weird. But with that all out of the way, let's get into the Bahrain Grand Prix. Wow. what a race. It reminded me why I love Formula One so much. So, first, we're going to get into my quali notes. So, I said Q2 and Q3 were so exciting. Usually, it isn't until Q3 where I'm really invested into qualifying, to be honest with you guys. But no, it was so exciting. I needed Yuki to get into P3 so bad, and he made it by literally a hair. But I was just so excited. It's just like, I literally was like, oh my gosh. And then I just needed to see Oscar get pulled. Like, I just, it was just like one after one, like this person takes provisional poll, this person takes provisional poll. And it's just like, with qualifying, I like it because it's truly not over until it's over. And I was just so excited to see Yuki and Pierre in P3. Like, people be sleeping on Pierre for real. Honestly, him and Ocon, even though Ocon, he qualified in Q2, I believe. But I'm just so glad to see Pierre up there. Like, I feel like he's like, one of the OGs, like Netflix showed him in the episode of the newest season of Judge to Survive. They're blogging their day, I'm pretty sure. Or maybe not. Maybe it was just with them. I don't know. That's none of my business at this moment. Sorry, I'm trying to get the qualifying results on my phone. And the Mercs are really impressing me. I was actually listening to a Bahrain Grand Prix recap from Fan Behavior, and they had a guest on named Tasia, I believe. And she was saying like she was one of the few people that, was kind of skeptical about Kimmy. And I'm like, me too. Like, so many people, like, they just knew Kimmy was going to be a prodigy when he came to Mercedes. But honestly, like her, I was like, we'll see how he performs when he's on that track in an F1 car. And he's really impressing me. Honestly, him and George, like, I'm not a Mercedes fan, but it's really good to see George really step up and really take on that leadership role. Because, not gonna lie, I was like, we'll see how George holds up, and he's just so consistent. He hasn't won yet this season, but I do think that time is coming for him very soon. And honestly, maybe a Merc double podium, maybe even a 1-2, maybe down the line sometime this race. Even though I'm a McLaren and Ferrari fan, I wouldn't be mad about that. I was very happy about Oscar's pole and seeing Charles in P3. I just, it's been a rough season for the Mercedes, or not the Mercedes, for the Ferrari fan side of me. I just want to see them perform so well. But Charles did come out and say that there are some upgrades coming their way that should help them. So I'm excited for that. My dream would just be able to see the McLarens and Ferrari battling out the whole season on the track. And I'm just like, Ferrari, I just need to see you guys up there. So I was really happy to see that Charles was able to pull that through. But one thing that was annoying is the FIA being slow with making decisions. So basically, something happened with Nico Hulkenberg, I believe, which made him be disqualified or like lowered or something like that. So basically, that just took away Alex's chance for possibly getting into Q3. He would have been in P2, but he could have possibly made it to P3. You never know. And it's just like so annoying that they made a decision 45 minutes later. Like, I understand with race decisions, they might be a little slower, but even then, I just think in general, they just need to be better on being faster with these decisions, because they really could affect the outcome of the races and the points and things like that. So that was just really annoying. So quali ended with Piastri on pole, Russell second, and Leclerc third. So I knew it was going to be an interesting race. So now let's get to race day. Okay, first, before we even talk about before the lights went off, lights out, and away we go. Yeah, that. Let's just talk about Max Verstappen being a snitch. I was listening to the Red Flags podcast, and they're like, Max Verstappen is literally the doll from Squid Games. Like, he move and he kills you, and that's literally Max when it comes to other drivers breaking the rules or whatever. Like, you can see his on board. So basically, Lando Norris got a penalty for being past like the grid line when they're all positioned for the race start. So when you're past it, you're considered to be like jumping the start. And you can see Max's head turn like that, and and he goes on the radio and he's like, like, Lando's not in the right position. I was like, ugh, Max, worried about yourself. Like, one thing about Max is he's always going to, like, he knows the FIA rule book front to back. Like, he knows everything. You know what? Respect. So yeah, that was a little moment, and I was just like, oh god. I'm like, Lando cannot catch a break this weekend. Like, it was really a weekend for him. He qualified P6, so he said he was aiming for P2, so I was just like, sir, as long as you have a good start, hopefully we'll be good. But speaking of the starting lap, I love a chaotic first lap. Oscar got away. There was fighting behind him, and I loved it. I think Charles was trying to overtake George, and like while they were squabbling, Lando was trying to come in. I'm like, oh, this is what I love. I love the squabbling. So then that just gives Oscar more time to get away from all the chaos. And I just knew from that great start, like, yeah, he has this in the bag. And I know George Russell can be a pretty aggressive defender. So that was exciting to watch as well. And honestly, even Charles, even though even though he wasn't able to maintain the third space or the third spot, it was nice to see him very defensive against Lando. I feel like they're both drivers that I feel like I haven't seen their defensive side so far, but I will say this is only my first time watching the full F1 season fully from start to end. Last season is when I got into F1, and my first race was the Miami GP. So if you're listening to this and you watch longer, don't come for me if they definitely have shown it in the past. Just I haven't, in my opinion, really seen it. So I love when I get to see Lando and Charles be more aggressive on the track, because I feel like Oscar and Lewis are like that, and I just like to see other people be aggressive. And my last note for the race, I'm not a Red Bull fan. I am Red Bull's number one hater. I do respect Max Verstappen though, and I am happy about Yuki's performance, don't get me wrong. But in terms of like the team, no, I did not want y'all winning. My teams are McLaren and Ferrari, but I do have to say it was a brutal watch. Yeah, it was a very, very, very brutal watch. At one point, Max Verstappen was literally dead last. I was like, oh, Red Bull, what is this? I think what really messed them up was their pit stop light was not working. So that obviously made for a slower pit stop. And it was just a disaster to say the least. But the final result of the race was Piastri P1, George P2, and Lando P3. And can we just talk about how funny that cooldown room is? A lot of people always say that they're just so awkward and stuff, but honestly, maybe because I'm just an awkward person sometimes, but I just do not pick up on that energy, and they're just so funny. And just George, he is just so funny. Like, he is just such a meme in his own. He's just that person. Like, his existence is just funny. So I always just love seeing him in those situations. And yeah, I think that's all my thoughts about the race. It was a really good one. Cannot wait for Saudi next week. I think Lando has said that this track is more suited for the McLaren, so we'll see if he pulls out a win. I would honestly love to see a season where Lando and Oscar are just fighting, because right now they're the top two for the Drivers' Championship. So like two teammates fighting for the World Championship. Yep. I'm sad, and I love them both. So I'll be happy either way the outcome is. But those are just all my thoughts for the race. It was a good one. And as an American, I'm glad we don't have to stay up late for races anymore. And now an update on the point. Now, my drivers, if you don't remember, were Yuki and Carlos. And then Elizabeth's drivers were Nico and Charles. So unfortunately, Carlos had a little collision with Yuki, which cost him the DNF. So that cost me negative 10 points. But Yuki did finish between the 4th and 10th place range, so I did gain 4 points, which means my points now are a total of 57 points. And then Nico, he didn't give Elizabeth any points, but she did get points for Charles Leclerc placing 4th, so she got 4 points. So her points are 56 points. So we are literally separated by 1 point at this time of the season, and that is really exciting. We'll see what happens in Saudi, like who will pull through. And if you want to see who we have for Saudi, I'm gonna take it over to past Liz and K2, who already drew. So now we're gonna draw for Saudi Arabia.
And I really hope, my people pull ahead, because I'm almost close to beating Kennedy. So let's do another 40-point lead, please.
Yes, they better pull through. Well, actually, no, they better not pull through. I hope they freaking lose. So now we're gonna draw for Saudi, and this will be the end of the triple header. So we all know ChatGPT kept giving us the same thing, so I'm gonna use Google. This is what it looks like. This 5 is not part of it. This is just what came up first. So before I change the settings, so 1 through 20 generate. Ooh. Oh, it says number 1, which I feel like, let's see, did Liz already have number 1? Yeah, Liz already got number 1, which is Oscar Piastri. So we're gonna generate again 7. Another person Liz already got. So Google is not even is not any better, I guess. 17.
Google just
Oh my
knows
god.
who's been doing great, and they want me to do great.
Mm-hmm. 17, okay. 10. You have Fernando Alonso. I mean, he's consistent, so he's a good one. That's Liz's first driver.
I fear I am using ChatGPT. Actually, I'm just gonna tell Siri. Siri, pick a number 1 through 20. 18.
Let's see. Have I gotten 18? Yeah, I've already gotten 18.
Siri, pick another number 1 through 20. She connected to my headphones, but she said 15.
15. Okay, I got Esteban. So, as we all know, I got Esty Bestie. So, now we're going to draw again for Elizabeth's second driver. Generate 17, which I'm pretty sure is Carlos Sainz. Oh, wait, no. Alexander, but she already got him. Yeah. Why are you giving me the same number? 4. Surely you haven't got 4. Okay, you got Lewis Hamilton.
Did I not already have Lewis?
No.
Oh, perfect. And then I'll go ahead and draw Kennedy's. Siri, pick a number 1 through 20. Not her going away. Siri, pick a number 1 through 20. She says 14.
14.
Siri, pick a number 1 through 20. She says 12. Siri, pick another number 1 through 20. 2. I feel like you already have got Lando.
Yeah.
Pick a number 1 through 20. 6.
You know, I got Liam Lawson, but I'm not mad at it. I mean, he's in an easier car, so yay.
Enjoy winning for now, Kennedy. That's all I have to say.
I'm gonna enjoy it all the way to the end. So just a little recap in case you guys forgot. For Saudi, I have Esteban and Liam, and Elizabeth has Fernando and Lewis. So we both have a pretty good lineup. Now, Esteban, sir, I'm gonna need you to whip that horse like a Maserati or something. I need you to get it together, sir. Yeah, thank you. So yeah, we have some good picks. We still have some good drivers left too, which makes me excited for the future races. Pop culture. I mean, honestly, even though in Kelsey's episode we talked about some things, I feel like there really hasn't been things to talk about. I mean, I'm on TikTok every day, and I swear there's nothing to talk about.
Yeah, I feel like all my TikTok right now is very niche, and no one's doing anything.
Yeah, and it's like there is some stuff I'm like, Liz don't know these people. Like, Liz, do you know who Paige DeSorbo is? Exactly.
No. Oh, I know something we can talk about.
Okay.
Update from if you guys listened to the episode when we were talking about like the New York thing and about how the girl on TikTok, she was like, "Oh, all the New York YouTubers, not YouTubers, all the New York influencers are like the same. They all do the same content, like blah blah blah." Y'all, why did she get fired from her job?
Yeah, I was shook. And then literally one of the influencers under that video, or not under that video, but a video of someone talking about it was like, what does she expect? Blah blah blah. I'm like, girl, why are you still commenting? And mind you, this video again was a video that did not have like a lot of traction in the first place. So I just think it's so weird when I was like, not you thinking it's a good thing that she lost her job. Like, that's kind of rude. But yeah, I just think it's insane. The streets are saying that, she did work at a company that did work closely with these influencers. So I'm like, ooh. But at the same time, I feel like that's just like, I'm a big proponent of work life and personal life should not be intersected. Like, and as a business student, this is like my one main like pet peeve because all through my years of school, they're like, you have to make sure your social media is clean and da 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 da. And I'm just like, why? I mean, I don't post anything like inappropriate. Like, I totally get if you're posting inappropriate things or just like harmful rhetoric, but like when you're just sharing your opinion and just trying to live life, who freaking cares? Like, you're paying me to work 9 to 5. What I'm doing during my 9 to 5 hours is the only thing you should care about. You should not care about anything else. And it's just so annoying how these companies are trying to just have so much say in our private lives.
And the way she got fired for saying an opinion, like one thing would have been like she's hateful, like she like doing some evil stuff to people, because of like what they look like. But it was an opinion about the influencer industry is basically what it was. She didn't call anyone out or anything like specifically. And even if she did, honestly, it was an opinion. It wasn't like anything substantial. The fact she got fired from her job is actually insane. Wow. I just want to know what the reasoning that they gave her, because I feel like, I don't know, I feel like any reasoning, it wouldn't be justified. But yeah, definitely what Kennedy said. People are getting a little bit out of control with the whole you only got like your personal life and your work life are the same thing. I don't know about all that, you guys.
And heavy on the she didn't call anyone out. Like, I guess I would understand if she said names, but even then, I'm just like, again, it's an opinion. It's not a fact. And I love how she stood 10 toes down, and she was like, "Yep." And like my company or whatever was working with these influencers, and that's why I was bored. Like they're so boring, and it just like goes to show how like everything. I'm gonna be that one woke friend who ruins every conversation and can't keep it light. But it just goes to show how like political literally everything is, and how much politicals is intertwined with business, because it just makes me think of like how Alex Earl sued Gymshark for like $1 million because they stopped working with her because of her pro-Israel stance. And then Morgan Riddle, if you guys don't know, she was very open about being liberal and hating Trump and blah 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 on her platforms. And she went on this podcast called Dim Influence, which is basically like these girls who are kind of giving their takes on how like the Democratic Party, I guess, can like do better on like reaching like our people and like their message instead of doing what they're doing, which is nothing. Not to get political, but and Morgan was open about how like just being open about being pro Palestine and being a Democrat and being political has cost her brand deals. Like brands don't want to work with her. She's lost followers. So it's just like crazy how like I don't know, like I don't want to sound dramatic, but just like how there's so many systems in place to kind of like silence the people, you know what I mean? Be silent unless you're going to say what we want you to say, you know what I mean? So I just think it's a very interesting conversation that can be had right now.
Emphasis on the whole like silencing people, as we see in like different things. Everybody getting silenced. Watch me and Kennedy be next, y'all.
No, no, for real. We're gonna let y'all know from the beginning of our podcast before we get too far where we stand. Okay, you are not gonna trick us. Okay, we're minorities. Of course, we're gonna be for the people, because these politics. I saw that. I love this one saying where it's like you might not do politics, but politics is gonna do you. And me and Liz, we got a double whammy. Not only are we women, but we're minorities too. Girl, girl.
The universe said pick a struggle.
No, for real. And then I'm also like a marketing major, so you have to be kind of caught up in the business world and just seeing the politics affecting business. I'm just like, oh Lord, save me, save me, save us.
What I would do to live under a rock.
That part. If only we could be that delusional, but we can't. But I just love how we took the pop culture section just to be political, but I love it. Honestly, everything's political at this point. So as you can see with
You continue.
I was just gonna say, as you can see, with literal influencers being silenced or suing over political beliefs.
But you know what we can be delusional about? Our TV shows. So Kennedy, what have you been watching?
A lot. A lot. I watched Honora this weekend. I'm gonna give that movie a solid 2.5 out of 5. I don't know why it won as many awards as it did. Now, I will say, people are like, well, if you watch the Florida Project, then you'll understand. I did watch the Florida Project a long time ago in quarantine. And so now that I know that that same person did the Florida Project, I can definitely see like the style similarities. But I did like the Florida Project way more than Honora. I don't know. It just, to me, the plot was just very basic, very simple. I knew going into it that like obviously the situation wasn't going to end well. I just felt like maybe I was expecting more from it, not necessarily because it won Oscars, but because of people's responses to it, being like, oh my gosh, like this movie is so good. I feel like people were saying it was a positive commentary on sex work, which we're not going to get really into that, but I was just like, really? Because I just felt sad, honestly. But that, listen, I'm pro sex work. Get your money, girl. But yeah, it was just, yeah, it was. But I will say, what saved the movie were the two bodyguards. Specifically, the one I forgot his name, but it starts with a G. He was my favorite.
The one with the nose? Yeah.
Yep, yep.
All Mans wanted was to go to the hospital, and he didn't get taken to the hospital.
No, he was so funny, but I'm just like, this movie is the typical, rich boy is acting up and drags someone from lower income into it and then just F's everything up. But at the end of the day, the person from the lower income is going to suffer the most when he just gets to go back to his rich life and do what he needs to do.
I loved the scenes with the three of them. Like the even the three bodyguards in her, all the scenes without the main guy, loved them.
No, honestly, why was the main guy kind of annoying? I was like, maybe I would have liked this movie more if he was like cute. Not saying that he was ugly, but he just wasn't like necessarily like my type, especially with all the partying and stuff. I was like, sir, calm down. Like he's acting like he's like really is going through it, but no, he's just mad because his dad wants him to work at his company. Like, sir, like miss me with that.
I thought you were gonna say like he wasn't your type like physically, and I was gonna be like, now Kennedy, that man looked like Timothy Chalamet 2.0.
I feel like that's disrespectful towards Timothy Chalamet. I mean, yes, I guess I don't want to talk about his body. But I just feel like no.
And with that, we're gonna move on to the next thing we've been watching. Both me and Kennedy watched The Lifeless this weekend, and if you guys haven't watched it, what are you doing? It's on Netflix, and I actually really enjoyed it.
Yeah, The Lifeless was a really good movie. It has Sophia Carson in it and this other boy who was really cute. I was like, he looked so familiar. He was in The Map of Tiny Perfect Things, if you guys remember that movie. I never watched it, but I remember seeing the promos for it. It was on Amazon Prime, but the movie is basically like this girl's mom dies, and so she has like a lifeless in order to get her inheritance. But it's actually a really good movie. Sophia Carson be eating up her rom com roles. Like, I'm sorry, Purple Heart still be living rent free in my mind. Like, I can't lie. Even though that's a controversial movie, but I really liked it.
I'm so glad you said that. This is such a safe space. I have rewatched that movie. I really enjoyed it. Put aside some parts of it, but even then, I feel like it accurately portrayed some of these people. It was a good movie, and the song was a bop. But anyways, yeah, Sophia Carson. I be eating up the rom com movies. I feel like they're the closest feeling to like a early 2000s rom com, because they're not cringy. Like this movie, I didn't really find any scenes where I was like, let me put pause on this. I need to take a break. Honestly, I like the plot too. It had me thinking, had me contemplating some things. And the main guy, dare I say, new white boy of the month.
I am down for that. Literally, his character is all I need. I will say there was some controversial with, a whole cheating plot, but what did they say? Never let your boyfriend or girlfriend stop you from finding your soulmate, and I approve that message.
I do see I feel like the scene, I won't even spoil for you guys actually. You'll just have to watch for yourself.
Yeah, I was gonna say you just have to watch for yourself, but it was just such a cute movie. And let's see, I was like, what was I gonna say? And honestly, it left me feeling very inspired. I was like, oh, there's so much to life. Like we just need to like go after our goals. Like life is just so short, and we really just need to like all the superficial stuff like doesn't matter. And we just need to live life.
Yes, I've been seeing so many TikToks, and it's like lessons I took away or like what I took away from the movie. And all of them, I'm like, yes, facts, what they said. It was very inspiring, just really had you like thinking in a good way.
Yeah, and it was like, and even just like I really like what's it? Oh, what's it? The four questions. The four questions. I was telling Kelsey, I was like, I'm really gonna carry this with in real life. Loki forgot all the questions, but the question that really stood out to me was, could you see this person being like the father of your kids? I'm like, ooh, girl, that's the one.
What Kennedy said, look no further than the four questions.
Yes. And then for me, I watched The White Lotus season 3 finale last night, and you guys, I literally needed a cigarette. I literally needed shots of tequila after watching that. I was like, oh my gosh, what did I just watch? Honestly, anyone who said this season was boring, literally F you, F off, because it literally wasn't. In my opinion, it followed about the same pacing as all the other seasons, so I don't know what people are on, because I feel like that's how all the seasons of White Lotus are. It's like, okay, you just it's very much a character driven show, and they don't really get any action until like the last 30 minutes, which is exactly what happened. And it's just chaos because it's not like one of those like, ooh, like detective, like clues, blah blah blah. Like it's not that type of show. But I'm not even gonna spoil because I think Elizabeth wants to watch it. But yeah, it was insane. I cried real tears. Like my room, you guys want to see what it looks like? Yeah, for the audio listeners, I was pacing around it yesterday. My bed that I'm on, I literally jumped out of bed. I was like, ooh. I was like, oh my god, like I'm stressed. Like I was going through it. It felt like I was watching an F1 race. Honestly, like my adrenaline was high. It was just so good. If you have not watched White Lotus, watch it from season 1 and on because it is that good.
Say less, I'll be watching it. And then my show that I've been watching that I started and finished, which was my favorite of the week because I finished it in the span of 2 days. But it's this new like medical show on Netflix. It's called The Pulse. And y'all, I have not watched like a medical TV show since Grey's Anatomy, maybe some of like The Good Doctor. I binged this. I finished it all season episode 1 through 10 on Netflix. But it basically follows, and I can see some people, I could see why they might hate on it a little bit, but I feel like they're not understanding the definition of some things. But anyways, it follows obviously these doctors and everything, and it's set in Miami, and it switches between like the doctors will speak sometimes Spanish and English a little bit because obviously Miami's like super Latino population and everything. So they're all a lot of like the nurses and everything, they'll like speak to each other, or like there's a specific patient that they'll speak to in Spanish, which I really liked. But I feel like it was different from other doctor TV shows because other doctor TV shows, it's like different story every single episode, and then in the background obviously it has whatever the characters are going through. But this show, it followed everything kind of consecutively. Like there was a what's not earthquake, the water tsunami, there was a tropical storm, yeah, there was a tropical storm, and it followed, like there was 3 episodes that revolved around the tropical storm. Obviously like new patients are being brought in because the storm was like worsening and everything, but it followed like chronologically in order, if that makes any sense. But the big like drama of it, I guess, it's the protagonists. The female doctor basically put a sexual harassment like HR claim against the male protagonist, and there's all this tea that's going on and everything. And yeah, and then you're getting like flashbacks of the past and then the present, and you're trying to like figure out like what led to her putting in this harassment claim and everything. But I hope it gets renewed for season 2 because I will be sad, it kind of left on not so much like a cliffhanger, like jaw on the floor, but this story could continue.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to tune into that. I have it on my list, but I feel like I need to watch The Pit first before I watch The Pulse. I feel like you've heard of The Pit before.
I've been getting so many TikToks about the pit, and now I need to watch the pit. And you guys, it's so bad. I watched it was one TikTok that convinced me to download this show and watch it on my phone. One scene, one clip. I was like, what the heck is this? Download them all. And next thing you know, I finished it. So now I'm starting to get the pit TikToks. So I'll be watching the pit.
I'm like, why is Liz watching more stuff now when she's abroad versus when she's back in Kentucky?
Don't call me out like that, Kennedy. When I'm on the plane, I gotta be doing something. Because tell me why my flight we missed that flight window again on this flight, and we had to wait another 45 minutes. But anyways,
I'm gonna need y'all to do better. But yeah, now we're gonna get into our song of the week. My song is, oh Lord, I'm gonna butcher this. L'amour de ma vie by Billie Eilish. And I'll play my favorite part. I just love this song so much. Immediately. Like, tell me that's not a bop, you guys. So do yourself a favor and go listen to that song.
and then my song of the week, in the spirit of going to Ireland, it's Galloway Girl, or Galway. I don't know how you say that. Galway, I think is how you say it. Girl by Ed Sheeran. That's my song of the week. Very out of character for me. So now the heart of the episode, you guys. Let's just say it's hard out here. It's hard out here being a girl, you know. Life is hard. And we're going to be ranting a little bit, just getting some things off our chest. There's no order to this. You're really going to see here the way our brains function.
Yeah, we just really need to get some things off of our chest. I apologize if all my rants are mostly school focused because school, well, right now it's not getting on my nerves too bad. But during the last 2 weeks, there was a certain professor, Greg, and that's actually not his full name, so don't worry. That's not even his name, but yeah, he really made me mad, so I'm gonna be coming for him today.
I don't even know what I'll be ranting about, but yeah, what can be said?
Yeah, just you guys don't even get me started on Mr. Greg here. So he is my professor. He's my professor for my marketing management capstone. Literally, Liz has probably already heard this story before, so I apologize. I don't know. I've talked about this a lot with Abby, so I just like can't remember where I've said things, who I've said it to, blah blah blah. But basically, we recently had an exam in that class. It was not too good. And we only have 2 exams in that class. And this teacher, he is such a stickler. Like he's just so like strict. He's that professor where it's like if school is happening, we're having class. Even if there's a flooding happening, he's one of those people. And let's just say we had a really tough exam where everyone thought they ate. Like I really thought I did like at minimum like B level work. You guys, why did I get a 68? Which you might be like, yeah, you guys might be like, oh, Kennedy, like it's not too bad or whatever. The highest grade in the class was a 72. So I was in the high like percentile of scores. And like you would think that like he would like, try to reflect on his teaching. No. Why would I think a man would like hold himself accountable? No. He was basically just being like, like I went over this, basically being like it's like y'all's fault, like you didn't study enough. No. No, but like people in my group, they're talking about like, yeah, like I got a 53, I got a 55. So like it really could have been worse. So I'm just glad I got a 68, but I'm just like, I truly don't know what I'm gonna do to like raise my grade. I mean, I have a C in that class, but like to like never have gotten a C like ever, and like especially in college as like a final grade. I would hate to leave Western Kentucky with the C. So just I'm gonna eat him up in the course evaluations. Yeah. Oh, I never talked about the nostalgia I had when picking up my cap and gown, I think. So I'm gonna talk about it. When I came back from spring break, I had to pick up my cap and gown. And I was feeling really nostalgic that day because as I was going to pick it up, I actually had like a meeting for my internship, and I was like listening to the song that took me back to like one of my last classes my sophomore year, spring semester, when I transferred. It was just good weather. It was a song. It's I can't remember the name, but it's by Empire of the Sun, something like that. And it just took me back, and it just made me so grateful. It just made me so grateful to just like be here, be living. No, not that, but just like how far I've come. And just like so glad that I transferred. I know we're supposed to be talking about things that like ranting things, but mine is like that. My second thing is positive, but oh well. It just made me nostalgic. And I was like, oh my gosh, time flies by so quickly. And I'm growing up.
Points on both of those things. First one, the story about Greg. Yeah, that was crazy when I saw you talking about that on your story, Kennedy. The fact your grade was like your original grade was low and you were the second highest in the class. If anything, I feel like it's telling us many things about Mr. Greg here. Kennedy didn't even like describe to you guys that much about like where she went wrong, I guess. But when Kennedy was telling us about how like he graded the exam or whatever, there were some things on there that I was like, he was so vague on the questioning. Like the wording of the question, he was like, what is this? Or like, what's the important part of, I don't know, blah, 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 blah. And then she would say what the important part was. And he'd be like, not exactly what I was looking for. Or like, blah, blah, blah. You needed to include this and everything. I'm like, sir, you're wording the question so brief. Like, what do you expect? Honestly, y'all should all go complain to your whoever's above him, the board,
The dean.
the
The
dean.
dean.
Yeah, that if that's how your exam was looking like, imagine the people who like did lower.
Honestly, I should because I'm actually presenting in front of the dean this month. So I'm like, so after this presentation, I need to talk to you about professor. No, but yeah, I totally forgot to talk about the format. Like literally, I should have known. Like it should have just clicked in my mind because literally when we got our test back, he was basically saying like, you know, there's specific things I wanted to see. And I'm just like, well, if you wanted Pacific, oh my God, if you wanted specific things that you wanted to see, then you should have wrote that in the question. We're not mind readers. Like that's like the most annoying thing is like the answers, what he wants to see isn't based on facts, you know, it's just based on his opinion on what he thinks is the right answer. Like for example, one of the questions was like, why is price the most difficult thing? But use the P&L statement to back up your answer. And he said in class, what I wanted to see was you actually put the actual formula. If you wanted to see that, why didn't you put that in the question? Like that just doesn't make any sense. Like it just another thing was like he was like, what were the biggest takeaways from this video? And I literally said the takeaway, but because I didn't put the specific word he was looking for, I got points off for it. Which I'm like, that's so stupid. What? I literally got it right, except I just didn't. I put it in a different way than you did. He always encourages coming to office hours, but he was like, well, if you come to office hours, I don't expect getting extra points from me. I'm like, so then what's the point? Because like you're just gonna continue telling me what I did wrong when I think I actually, you know, probably could have gotten a couple more points. So I'm just like, I'm not even gonna waste my time.
Yeah, that was the one that like really got to me of what you said, like the whole formula thing. It could have been fixed by him saying use this formula to explain without him even putting the actual formula. Like he just said the name, you know. I don't know. He definitely sounds like interesting professor. I wonder what his rant professor reviews look like.
I wonder too. I should look. If he doesn't have a profile up, I'll make one.
Oh, he's gonna have one after y'all get your final grades back.
What you said.
And then the other thing you talked about just like not having regrets about like transferring schools and everything. Honestly, like you be looking so happy, Kennedy, like on your stories and everything, like just living your life in your little apartment, cooking your little food and your meals. Honestly, love that for you, thriving.
Thank you, thank you. I would definitely like get into like the whole transferring thing, but I'm just like I just sometimes think I'm just so glad I transferred here instead of like sticking it out for Easter because I'm just thinking like oh all the opportunities and stuff that I have now like freaking like I'm gonna present in front of the freaking dean of the business college. You guys think I would have gotten that at Easter? No, I wouldn't have. You think I would have met the people I met? No, I wouldn't have. And it's like while my college experience hasn't played out in some ways as I would have thought, it still has played out. So like I'm very grateful for where I have ended up, the connections I've made. Yeah, I just kind of like the confidence I've gained from being here with certain things. And again, just like the people I've like interacted with and just I don't know, I just feel like I'm in my little bubble here and I really like it. But yeah, that's pretty much all I feel like ranting about right now. We'll let Liz do her ranting and we'll see if anything comes up later.
Y'all, I honestly don't even know what to rant about. Not that my life is going like perfect and everything, but honestly, I feel like, I guess it's not even like a rant, but I feel like me being like abroad kind of recently has just kind of like changed my perspective on things. Like, I'm not so like back home when I was like in school. I mean, I'm still in school, you guys. But when I was like in person at school and everything, I don't know, I feel like there was like so many small things that I would like hyper fixate on or just like stress about. And it'd be like in my mind, it'd be like the end of the world, you know? Like if I don't do this, then this isn't gonna happen or anything. But like right now, I feel like I'm just such in a carefree state of mind, which might be kind of bad too in some ways. I don't know. I feel like it has its positives and its negatives. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about, you guys, but I feel like I haven't been hyper fixated on like minute things that I know aren't important, you know? I feel like I don't know, been able to like put things in perspective in my mind, if that makes any sense. In the sense of like, I keep on saying, like, if we had a like count, I'd be a millionaire, you guys. But in the sense of I'm not stressing about like an exam that I have or something like that. Because I mean, I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying.
Maybe it's like study abroad since you're just first of all in a new country and then traveling to a bunch of new countries that are just so different from life here in the States and Kentucky. It's just like you just realize how big the world is. Everyone is just a human at the end of the day. We're just all trying to get through it. It's just worrying about an exam, like exams and stuff. Well, I guess in the short term, they matter in terms of grades and stuff. But in the long term, it truly does not matter. Like there's so many other things to put our time and energy towards. Like you creating memories and having fun with your friends is more important than doing like the absolute best on an exam. Like obviously you still want to do good, but don't like you're not gonna stress yourself over it, and like you're just trying to have fun. Like there's just no room to even think about the little things.
Yes, you put it perfectly, Kennedy. It's honestly, it's the whole like living in the moment, I feel like. Instead of, I feel like back home, obviously, like, and it's because of you're in school, so like you have to focus on this stuff because you want to pass your exam, you want to do this. But I feel like you're so focused on like, okay, I passed the exam, now I got to prepare for this next exam. And it's very like routine and like checking off the boxes and this is next and this is next. There's always something next, and you're not like in the moment, at least personally. I feel I never was. I mean, I was, but like I wasn't at the same time. I'd always be like off thinking about something else. But I feel like being abroad and everything, I've had experiences that I wouldn't have otherwise, obviously, but also just in the sense of learning to take a step back and like being in the moment. And I know I've been talking to like some of my friends here abroad that like we're so used to like, oh, like planning stuff and like going out on the weekend, like exploring places in the weekends and everything. But like even like when we go back home, like we want to still like do that in a way of like not necessarily like going to a whole other state or something because the US is pretty big, but more so like doing things within your like your college town. Because I know I have a friend that like she's going back, she's not graduating yet or anything, so she's going back and she was like talking about how like she hasn't seen like a lot of things like of Kentucky because she's not from Kentucky. And I was telling her like, oh, like you can go to like Natural Bridge, like you'd love that, and like small things like that that you wouldn't experience otherwise. I feel like sometimes just when we're living in a place, we forget to like experience the place, like we get so used to our routine that we don't stray from the routine, like back home when I was at school, I wouldn't go to like certain events in Cincinnati or something like that because I'd be like so focused in my routine. So I feel like I've learned to just like switch up the routine and try new things and living more in the moment and things like that. But not necessarily like a negative rant, but that's where my mind's been at right now.
But I think not staying in your routine is really important. Like I am definitely a very routine person, but I'm the type of person where it's like, okay, I'm in a routine and I'm bored. Like I feel like low key I'm the type of person that just kind of like needs to experience a little bit of change every while and then, or I get bored. But I just think it's really important to like I feel like we just need more of that energy here in the US because that is very much what I'm in right now, where it's like, okay, yeah, I finish this exam, this project, this presentation, but my mind's already on to the next. So you just can't sit with it. And I've been trying to like live better in the moment of it being my last month in undergrad. Like, yes, I'm going to be continuing my school, but I definitely have felt like I'm living in like a little bubble here in Western Kentucky. So I'm just like I need to like soak it all in and just try to keep that same energy from when I'm just closer to home. But yeah, I just think it's important to just like I don't want to say like romanticize your life because that's so overdone, but just like I really like what you and your friends are saying about just like exploring where you live at back home and just like not really taking anything for granted because take things for granted the next thing you know it's underwater. You know what I mean?
Yes, and I feel like especially if you're like a student or you have like work or whatever it is, I feel like the weekends can be a time to like stray from your routine. Like obviously during the week, follow your routine or you're gonna like get out of the funk and you're gonna be all over the place. But like on the weekends, that's your time to like, okay, I'm gonna go and like live and actually experience and like do stuff. Or like even after work or after school in your classes and all that stuff, doing like small things like that, I think is really good. Like mentally, I feel like I'm in a great space. I've never had like super bad anxiety or anything like that, but I feel like mentally right now I have no complaints going on. I feel like I've been doing a lot of things of like putting in energy to myself. So I feel like doing those little things in our like day to day and just like slowing down, yeah, I feel like we need more of that.
Heavy on the just really investing in yourself, to be honest. Like for me, the weekends I try not to do schoolwork because to me my weekends are my weekend to put times towards the things that I don't necessarily have time to do during the week because I've been just really trying to be better on being more productive, proactive during the week. So like the weekends are for me. And like people like I feel like some people are probably like girl, you just sit at home and do nothing. I'm like, yes. Because that's exactly what I want to do. Like I just want to watch my YouTube in peace, not having to worry about like I gotta make sure I have this and this is done by a certain time so I can get in bed and just be ready for the next day and like do all this work and all this and I just like to catch up on my movies and just like read and just like give energy to things that make me happy. I think that's really important to do during the weekends because I notice like you can just get so burnt out if you don't give yourself that time. And it's just like things can wait. Like it truly can wait and truly you're just in so much of a better headspace when you just give yourself that time to rest. Like we are not robots. We are not meant to just be doing things 24/7, and I know that can be somewhat of a privileged take if you will because I know for me I'm lucky that like I'm able to like not necessarily have to have another job because my parents support me since I do have an internship and I am a full-time student. So yeah. So Loki, I just thought of something that's really not related at all to what we've been talking about. Etsy witches.
Would you say sandwiches?
Etsy witches.
Oh, Etsy witches. I was like, sandwiches. What the heck is she talking about?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, I really want to do one. So we're trying to get a trip out of the group chat, and I think that before that trip, we should do one of those etchy witches that draw your soulmate, and then we have a reveal on the trip. I think that would be so fun.
I keep like hearing you not say Etsy witches. I just heard you say edgy witches, but we'll see. You'll have to do some convincing for me. I don't know if I trust that stuff.
It's just for fun, please. And honestly, you know I can't pronounce things. Etsy witches. I'm not good at enunciating sometimes, so sorry.
You know, I think it'd be fun, but I don't know. You'll have to do a PowerPoint, a real good convincing argument for me, Kennedy.
I will. I convince everybody to do something. Let's see. What's something else I could talk about? Do you have something?
Okay, let me think. Hmm.
While Liz is thinking, I'm just gonna tell you guys that I like get ready with me's now. Uh, I think it's only because I started to wear a little bit of makeup now, so now I'm just like interested to see what other people use. Because before I didn't, but now I do, and I'm like, wow, I love them. They're so satisfying.
I love watching the get readies and like seeing what people like actual people that like actually, know how to do their makeup and everything. I'm like, dang, that must be nice. Skip. Sometimes I'll save them. I have like a collection of videos I'll be saving. I never go back and do anything with them.
No, that is so real. Like really, my makeup, it's blush, now mascara and some lip gloss, and that's all I want to do. That's all I need. But I'm just like when I just it's just so satisfying when people are just like my foundation. Da, 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 da. Like even like our friend Jill on her private story, she posted like a little story time when she was doing her makeup doing it, and it was just so satisfying, so calming.
I love seeing them like blend everything out. That's my favorite part. I had something to rant about. What the heck was it? This is a really random thought, but it's just been like a thought. With like the weather changing and like it's like getting warmer and you're like, "Oh, I want to change my like wardrobe. I want to add this, change my style up a little bit." Why is it so expensive? Why is it so expensive to shop, you guys? Just why? That's the end of my message.
No, I get that. This is why being a girl is so hard. Like everything that we want and need costs so much money. Like I just want to dress cute. I want to dress like Charles' girlfriend, but I don't have $50,000.
That part. Like I'm trying to be one of the F1 girlfriends with their cute little outfits. No. Absolutely not. In this economy, no.
No, for real. And I'm just like, for me, I just want like some more pairs of jeans, especially like low rise baggy ones. But I'm like, girl, I know y'all see them prices. I'm like, girl, I cannot.
The 3-digit prices on jeans is criminal. It should only be 2 digits at most.
And I'm over the $50 tops that are plain color. I'm tired of the
The little
80
tank tops, the $80 tank tops, yeah, no.
I'm over the $100 sweat sets. I'm over it all. Please make it less expensive.
This one is just a rant about like being a girl, you guys, because every month and I'm currently suffering. So just why? Every single time this happens to me, I'm always just I'm asking the Lord, why does the female anatomy have to be this way? Why am I suffering?
I have one-sided beef with Eve.
With me?
Eve,
Oh, with Eve. Yeah. No, because why?
public enemy number one.
And syncing up, that is the most criminal thing in the world because I wasn't even supposed to, you know? I was supposed to be living my life peacefully for another like 4 days. Mentally, I was thinking 4 days. No. Syncing up is criminal. Like, why is that a thing? Am I a phone? Why am I syncing up with people like that?
No, like why do our periods have Bluetooth? That's crazy. Like we had Bluetooth. Our periods had Bluetooth before Bluetooth was even existed, which is insane. Like there has to be some science behind it. Allegedly, I don't think there really is, but like that's very interesting that when some girls are together, our bodies just sync up. Something about the hormones they're probably transmitting in the air. I don't know. It probably works the same way that Wi-Fi does.
Imagining little like radiation things coming off of our bodies, like attracting other ones.
Yeah, I feel like it's like some type of weird nature thing. Like you know how like have you ever heard when if a woman's breastfeeding and then like another baby is crying, like her boobs will start leaking cuz her body's like, "Oh, I need to feed."
Yes. Why is that a thing? Like if I ever am in that position, you best believe I'm not going to be outside anymore, I guess. Cuz why? Why am I going to be feeding some random child? Does your body that just doesn't make sense to me. Does not make sense to me. Why is that a thing?
And speaking of periods, let's pray for the day I have to give childbirth. Like I literally cannot. Like they say like your period cramps are like basically like your body is cramping to like 1 centimeter for like just to let the blood out. So I'm like, those are the cramps for 1 centimeter. So imagine when I have to open up to 10. And I know there's a whole thing. People want to give unmedicated births. I would rather die, have a C-section, or I would rather die. So yes, give me all the drugs. I will push that baby right out, God willing. And I'm just really scared. So that's why I'm gonna be extra careful about pushing a baby out. I just honestly, I'm not saying pregnancy is gross. Like honestly, I love pregnancy bellies. They're really cute. And I was going through an era where I didn't want kids, but now I do. And I just love I just love seeing people with their pregnant little bellies and just I will say seeing the baby move sometimes is still a little freaky, but I just think pregnancy babies are so cute and it's just amazing that you're growing a whole human being. But pushing it out, girl, get somebody else to do it, please.
See, that's another thing to like just again baffles my mind. Pregnancy and all that. Obviously, like your body's changing, whatever. I don't understand how the child fits through the yeah, through the openings.
The body is amazing. And one thing that also, I'm like, I don't want to get pregnant because they're going to be kicking my ribs. No, thank you. And I saw a comment that was like, yeah, my ribs would pop when my baby would kick up. But pop? No, I cannot.
And then when your ankles like swell up so much and like your shoes don't fit, like what?
Yeah. So, ladies, make sure you're having babies with someone who is your soulmate. Like, Speaking of soulmates, Liz, have you found your soulmate yet in Europe?
You hear that? It's just out of crickets. No. You know, no 4 questions? Lifeless? No.
Have you at least seen some like really cute guys where you're like, oh my gosh, like this is what social media is talking about when they're saying like the Europeans are it.
Yes. I know like and the someone in our like group chat was like Liz better have like an analysis of all the country and like the guys that are in each country or whatever. I definitely think that some countries, you know, that they're bred a little bit differently than other countries. Um some countries you know, you just don't see no one really. But yeah, I definitely do think that there is a difference, at least from like the US. I feel like it's the style, honestly. I feel like it's the style and the grooming. I feel like they care more about their appearance here than back home. I don't know. The guys back home, questionable species.
So what country should we go to if we're looking for a soulmate in terms of looks?
In terms of looks, oh, here's another rant we can have after this. If y'all are like the people that are like, looks don't mean anything, you are some liars. But anyways, if you're real and honest, then you should just listen to me and Kitty. But in terms of looks, I think Spain, honestly. What's another one? Oh, what's it called? The Nordic countries, Sweden. Yeah. Sweden, cold country, but they're bred differently up there. Ones that I personally didn't find anyone attractive really. The Irish, not quite my type. Like I said, there was some interesting people there.
I don't think the Irish would blame me for that. And you had me at Spain. I mean, Carlos Alcaraz, I'm coming. No, I've been wanting to send you updates on his location. Because I'm like, Liz, you need to run into him and do your big win, okay? Okay, I don't know how close. Okay, so, okay, you guys, I'm not a stalker. I just began in this fan account on my For You page. He's in Monte Carlo right now because of that. But he began, we're going to look it up. Murcia, Murcia. Apparently that's like his hometown or whatever. He be training there. So Murcia, y'all.
Murcia?
Yes.
Bruh, that's like close to me, I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
Murcia.
Yes, that. 57-minute drive? 51 minutes away?
55 minutes away, Kennedy.
So when I see Carlos Alcaraz is back there, Liz, you better get your butts on a train to there and find him. Yes.
You know, apparently on public transportation, it's only an hour and a half. Just send a text message, Kennedy. I'm on my way for you.
I got you. Let's see, what were we talking about?
Oh, you asked me if I found my soulmate.
Oh yeah. I know last time I'm pretty sure me and Liz said we're gonna find our soulmates in South America. That's where we was at last time.
All I know, Franco. And I've been seeing a lot of like Argentinian people like Franco on my For You page. So
I thought she was gonna say I've seen a lot of people in person, like Argentinian people. I was like, oh, okay, girl, get your man.
unfortunately, I haven't seen Franco in person, you know.
Yeah, man's busy traveling, but I have been seeing like a lot of people meeting him though. Almost sent you a TikTok last night of him speaking, but like, can you translate this, please?
Yes, I love all the TikToks of him.
Yes, I love hearing him speak Spanish. But yeah, next to our next rant. This is probably one of our last few ones because we've been recording for an hour and a half. It doesn't even feel like it. We just be putting out movies. Yeah, you're a liar if you say looks don't matter. Like you're actually a liar. But there's plenty of people. Well, I wouldn't know. I haven't really spoken to that many boys, but I'm sure there's plenty of boys that have good personalities, but they're ugly. So why would I date them? And maybe that's why I'm still single.
No, because I feel like even when you're like asking like couples and everything, like, oh, what's the first thing you noticed about her? Or like, oh, like what was it's always something about them physically, like, oh, their eyes, their laugh, their smile, there's something, something. Like that's gonna be the first thing you see. If y'all are saying, oh, like his like personality like really brought me in, like, bruh, there was nothing about the physical that attracted you. Why are you trying to make yourself look better? Admit it.
No, that part of why are we trying to be like morally good people here? Like we're humans, we're multifaceted. There's part of us that's morally corrupt and the other part isn't. Okay.
Exactly. And like you can love the personality, but you got to tell me that there's something physical that you're attracted to. And if you're like, "No, there's not." You're a liar or you're miserable. You're miserable with your choices.
That part and heavy on the you're miserable on your choice. Like it truly doesn't make sense to me. And maybe that's why me and Liz are still single. I don't know. But sometimes I do wonder. I'm like, what do I look like from a boy's perspective? Like, do you ever wonder that?
No, sometimes just like not even like just a guy's perspective, but like you know that like the inverse mirror or like whatever where they're like that's apparently like what you look like to other people. Why do we that's another question. Why is the way that we look to other people different from the way we see ourselves? Like, shouldn't it be the same? A mirror is reflecting what they're, you know? I don't know. That don't make sense to me. But I was going somewhere with this. But to Kennedy's question, yes, when I be especially like I be walking on the beach a lot or like on the boardwalk and there's people everywhere walking, moving. And sometimes I'm walking, especially when I got my sunglasses on, I be extra observant with my sunglasses because I'm like, nobody knows where I'm looking. Eyes are hidden. But I'll be like, I notice people, you know, and I notice like I perceive them a certain way. I'm like, I wonder what these people are thinking of me. Like, what do they think of this girl who has her over the ear headphones just walking around? Do they think I don't know. What do they think?
Yeah, I be thinking that too on campus. Like I'm just walking around minding my business, And honestly, I don't really think too much about people, honestly, but I'm just like, I wonder what people think about me. Are they ever like, ooh, she looks a mess? Or, oh, I like her outfit. Or, wow, she has an RBF face. I don't know. I just be wondering. And sometimes I wonder how people perceive me who I like talk to in class and like I work with in groups. Because I feel like I'm like, if only you guys knew the real me. It's so like emo. Yeah, I'm just curious on how I come across. In group work, you're not really getting like the full meat and bones, the meat and potatoes of a person. So I'm just curious. Like I'm like the way you guys see me is probably way different than how my friends see me.
Exactly. What I would do to read minds.
I would be scared to see what other people thought of me if it wasn't good. I'm sensitive.
Oh, I'd have a way to like inverse it or do something. I'd be like evil with it too.
You guys, you guys gotta learn. Elizabeth, she's low key evil. You see? She be trying to act like she is so sweet, but she's evil.
There she go, instigating. Kennedy, I feel like y'all have probably noticed Kennedy loved to instigate against me. Something about her in our group chats, she always like I'm like texting something and then she's always like, I don't know, she be saying something, trying to start a little fight in there. She an instigator. As you've noticed with her little F1 picks, fantasy picks or whatever.
Me? I would never. This is actually like defamation of character. And we'll be hearing from my lawyer.
The crickets is what I hear.
You guys, I'm getting tired from doing nothing. It's what is it? It's 5:12 my time. I was supposed to low key be kind of productive today. I haven't done anything.
And it is 12:12 a.m. my time. So
it's nighttime for Elizabeth.
That we have ranted, we have talked our ears off. I don't even know what we talked about. We talked about everything and nothing and everything too.
Yeah, we talked about a whole lot of nothing but something.
So hopefully you found something in that something. But thank you guys so much for listening to this episode. Make sure you're following us on all of our social medias, especially our Instagram, so you guys can get, live updates on our F1 fantasy picks and everything. See how some people are doing. See if I finally have beaten Kennedy. Yeah, but anyways, you guys have a great day. We'll see you guys next time on the Girls Lounge. Bye.
Bye.